Hey guys, it's Joel from Joel Reviews here to review War of the Planet of the Apes. This trilogy ended on such a high note. I don't want there to be any more ape movies ever again. The trilogy ended it, and it is fantastic. Hollywood, listen. You finished good. Don't mess this up. Alright? Just let us want to go watch the old films and end this project. No more Apes movies because this trilogy ended on such a high note. There has only been one other trilogy that has been able to do this, and that was the Fellowship of the Ring, the Two Towers, and the Return of the King, part of the Lord of the Rings franchise. As soon as they added on The Hobbit, they messed it up. Just don't mess this franchise up. This is such a great film. Rise of the Planet of the Apes was good. Dawn of the Planet of the Apes was better. And now War of the Planet of the Apes is the best out of the trilogy. It is the best film. Don't mess this up. Alright, now I need to gush about the beginning of the movie. I'm not going to spoil it. I'm going to get a little creepy here. I'm getting close to the camera, and I'm going to tell you a little spoiler. That's the first 2 minutes of the movie. That doesn't spoil anything. Alright? Are we clear? Are we good? Am I getting a little creepy? Alright, cool. So, at the beginning of the movie, it starts up with text talking about how people are dying off because of what happened in the first movie where you had the chemical spill and now humans are dying and apes are starting to get smart. Okay, you remember that, right? Well, this whole text has Rise, Dawn, and War to remind you that this is a trilogy of movies. Which is great. And every time it brought up Rise, Dawn, and War, they were in red letters to remind you, hey, it's a trilogy. Go watch the other films as well. You'll understand the story better if you watch the other ones. And it's so true. If I would have watched the first two before I saw this, there would have been stuff that I didn't miss, because it starts out very confusing unless you've seen the other two movies. So that's one thing. Go see the other two movies and then see this one. Alright, so this movie, I don't know why it's named War of the Planet of the Apes. I know they're trying to lead into Planet of the Apes, but this movie is more about Caesar and who he is, what he's going to stand for, what he's going to live for, and is he going to turn into Koba, who was one of the big villains of the previous films. Is he going to actually turn full-on ape and become evil? Or is he going to have some humanity because of who owned him in the first movie? It was great. The acting was fantastic. Caesar is a full green screen effect, and yet you feel so much like he's a human being. Andy Serkis made his character so good that Caesar feels real, like Gollum. And it's kind of amazing. He was in the Lord of the Rings, now he's in the Apes movies. And he does such a great job with the green screen effects with him. And the great part, moving on from the green screen effects of what Andy Serkis did, is that these apes feel so real. It feels like you can reach into the screen and pet the apes. They feel so real. They don't feel like the old Planet of the Apes movies where they were in costumes. It feels like these are actual creatures. Like they're the actual apes that you go to see at zoos. It feels so real. Like Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, they looked fantastic, and I didn't think it would look any better. Like the trailers did not really perceive that it was going to look any better, but they look better. They look amazing. And you cannot tell that they're green screen effects, even when they're with human characters. It's fantastic. Now another thing, Woody Harrelson. They really put him in the trailers like he's going to be this big thing of the movie. And he barely has any screen time. And he does great in the scenes he's in. Because he's a funny dude. And he really adds to the movie as the villain. And he's really a screwed up mess. And Woody Harrelson really encapsulates this guy. And he does a good job. And you want him to die by the end of this movie. Which is great, because that's what you really need for Caesar to have his big adventure. And I'm going to say this about the film franchise. It ends on a note that you know it's the end of the trilogy. It is so good that it really could start with Planet of the Apes. And you have your whole ape franchise. And I hope that's what they do, is they stop making these films because it ended on such a good note. The music in this is really cool. Like at the very beginning, like you have your fox, dun 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 and dun dun dun. Dun 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 dun. And instead, in this version, they actually have like ape sounding music doing dun 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 dun, and it actually sounds really cool. It sounds like they actually have bamboo sticks hitting some sort of wooden drum that apes would make. It sounds pretty cool. And the whole beginning of the soundtrack is ape music, and it's really good. Like every single song, it has a practical meaning to each scene, and like there are some creepy scenes in this movie, and the creepy music works fantastically. This movie all around is perfect. It ends a trilogy. It's totally an A+ masterpiece. Go out and see it. And guys, always remember, like and subscribe. See you next time.